Stampin' Notes, and I live in rural Western New York State. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm located between Canisteo and Greenwood, New York, two tiny towns. I live on a farm and in a meadow. But I love teaching paper crafting. And I have a beautiful, well, actually two beautiful cards for you tonight. I can't wait to share them with you. And we're using the Apple Harvest stamp set and the Apple Blossom dies. Now, the dies are not released to the public yet for sale, but as a demonstrator, you can purchase them. We were able to purchase them this past month, and there's some other dies it's called Perfect Partners, and these are only available until supplies run out. And these are the Apple Blossom dies right over here. Anyways, when the camera goes down, I will show you some more of those. And the more of the dies that will be available to purchase beginning September 1st, which I believe is Wednesday. No, wait, Thursday. Can't believe it's that late already in August. And happy birthday to my sister, my baby sister, Sharon. Happy birthday. She's my bestie and I love her to pieces. Haven't gotten to see her because she lives a little ways away, but I hope to soon. I think I will put the camera down to the project view. Oh, by the way, if you are comment and let me know where you're from. If you good evening. It's so good to have you on here, Mom. Always good to have your mom on. Let me know where you're from, say hi, and you will be put into a drawing for something glittery. And I will show you that in a little bit what it will be. You have to comment, and if you share, that is a plus. So last week's winner was Len Curran. And Len, thank you so much for sharing. And I'm going to go ahead now and put it down on our project view. So these are the cards. Oh, Ralphie's watching. Ralphie is Mom's little buddy. He's a little Shih Tzu and he is a character. He hears my voice and he probably is excited. These are the cards we're making tonight. This one is using, as I said, the Apple Harvest stamp set, and I'm using strips of paper, cardstock, and designer series paper for the background. I'm going to show you how to do that. Our greeting says the greatest gift is a good friend, and boy, is that true. That is so true. Chris? Oh, Margaret, you made it. Nice to have you here. And this is the stepped up one. This one has a bow and some embossing on vellum. If you shop with me this week and use this host code at checkout, W67XCFPB, with an order of $35 or more, I will send you the supplies to make these cards. They will be already cut out for you. And I will also send you some gems if your order is $50 or more. Before we get started with that, I want to tell you a little bit about Perfect Partners. So these are dies that are being released for stamp sets that we already have that there aren't any dies for. So the Apple Blossoms is the one I'm going to show you tonight. There's Fresh Cut Stems, which is in the annual catalog. These will be available to purchase September 1st. If you're a demonstrator, you can already purchase. Playful Piggy dies, the Tree Trimmings dies, Waterfall dies, and the Yeti dies. So really cool, and they're available just while supplies last. You also, if you don't have the stamp set, you can purchase the bundle. They'll be available stamp and dies. Also, celebration is only 2 more days. So if you're a bargain shopper and you want some of those beautiful free products, like the hippo stamp set or the dies, the Stylish Sketches stamp set, the silver and gold paper, or the amazing phrasing stamp set, and there's other dies that were released too in paper, and I don't have that paper in front of me right here, but you can find it in my previous email newsletter. You only have 2 more days to purchase celebration products and 2 more days to join and get the beautiful planner if you buy the starter kit. The starter kit is such a deal because you get to pick $125 worth of product. You pay $99 for that. So you're getting $26 of free product, free shipping, a free paper pumpkin, and you're getting a beautiful planner. This thing is gorgeous. I don't have it on hand to show you. I missed the order. I forgot about it. So anyways, it's a great time to join and I'd love to have you on my team. So let's get started. This is a beautiful Apple Harvest stamp set and there's some beautiful sentiments in there. And then we have the beautiful apple images and the blossom and this background stamp. And along with that, the dies are fantastic. This one I'm using tonight, so I'm gonna move that off of there. All kinds of great shapes here to go around the images that are in the set, and then you have this curly design, long design, the branch, leaves, and of course apple blossoms, and a die cut for the sentiment, and we're going to be using that tonight. I'm also using the Stylish Shapes dies. I'm using the largest circle from this set. And I'm using also some Stampin' Blends. So if you're interested in the Apple Harvest set, that is on page 54 in the January or July to December mini catalog. And it's right here. I'm also using some Designer Series paper from Celebration, and this is free. This is in that little catalog. It's the beautiful Rings of Love Designer Series paper. It has paper in it for all seasons, summer, winter, spring, and fall. And I'm using the plaid in that tonight. I just love it. So we're starting with an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of basic white cardstock. It's scored at 4 1/4, and I'm just gonna burnish that with my bone folder. Len Curran won last week for sharing, and if you share, you'll get put into a drawing or comment too, for some beautiful gems for next week, and I'll try and grab them here and show you which ones before we're done. Okay, so we're going to do the background on the front of this first. And I have, actually, I'm going to do both cards at the same time because it'll be faster. We'll have the second one prepared because the background is the same. So I'm going to start, I have mint macaron, soft succulent, and this is the Designer Series paper from Rings of Love. And I'm going to start with a soft succulent going across the front like this. And these are 3/4 of an inch by 6 inches. Some of them I cut a little shorter, and I wish I had cut them a little longer. And I'm not going to put it on the very ends because I'm going to be cutting those ends off. And it doesn't really matter where you start, somewhere about in the middle. Okay, next I'm going to go with a piece of the Designer Series paper. Well, let me get this on the other card. So we've had, I know some of you have had storms today also, and we had quite a storm a little while ago. And it's still kind of stormy out there. I want this about the same as that one, so I'm going to move it down a little bit. So now we're going to do, and you're going to butt these right up against each other. You could use adhesive sheets to do this, but I like to use a glue because I can move it like I have to right now, move it up. So you want to make sure this whole strip covers the whole cardstock that's underneath there. See if I can use one of these shorter ones. And also we had some exciting new, we had baby piglets born during the night. Mama had 10. See, you want to watch this because I've got to move that up there. 10 babies and all are doing well. Okay, I'm going to move that up just a little more. All right. Now see how I've got this one higher? Well, I'm still going to go ahead and put another strip there. See, I think I've got it more on a slant. Okay, than this one. And now we're going to go with a mint macaron. I had done a card like this several years ago and I always loved it. So I'm a quilter, so I enjoy any kind of pattern. As I know some of you watching are Christine Wolcott, Robin Cox, and Margaret. Some pretty talented ladies. All right, so these are looking a little different just because of the way I've laid the paper on the card base. Now you can see there's a tiny bit right there I didn't cover. I'm going to leave it. It's not going to show that much, but just watch out for that. And now we're going to do the bottom part. And I'm using the mint macaron up against the soft succulent. Again, I'm not gluing out on the edges. And the 6-inch strips are better. So it's 3/4 of an inch by 6 inches. And also there's a PDF free PDF on my blog, and I will put a link to my blog in the comments when I'm done. It takes me like within an hour it'll be there. It takes me a little bit to get things edited on my blog for that. I'm going to put this down here. I'm going to set that aside a minute. Okay. Now see, this is a short one, so I've got to slide it down to cover that corner right there. 2, 3. So you should have 6 on the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put another one down here. And this is the soft succulent. Just like that. Okay, so now this is all sticky here, a little bit sticky, so I'm going to put a piece of scrap paper over that to cover it. Okay. Now I'm going to come in with my scissors and I'm going to trim around the edges of this. I'm going to turn it upside down and there's glue on here. So I will wash my scissors and I'm using my paper snips. And I've got to get a little bit closer to the edge without cutting the white cardstock on the fold. We don't want to do that. It's not helpful that scissors are made for right-handed people. No offense, you right-handers. Okay. You can see I've got some paper stuck on these scissors. So my husband went down to the barn like before bed last night to check. Well, actually, my granddaughter Bailey went over. She lives across the road from the barn, and she said that she was getting milk out of the pig, which means the pig is going to go soon. And so he went down, I want to say it was like 3-ish. And sure enough, there were 9 little babies, or 8, I think, and then another one was born while he was there, and then there was no afterbirth, so Mac was a little concerned until, like, he kept checking her in the morning, and finally he went down and gave her some feed, and she stood up and had a baby pig. So he was glad he was there, and then the placenta came out, and such is life on the farm. And she happens to be a really good mother. Some of them are not very affectionate with their little ones, but she is. So he's still going down every 2 hours to check them, to let them out, to feed on the mother. She's in what's called a farrowing crate for probably until tomorrow, so she doesn't step on the babies when they're feeding. And then once she's used to that, Mac can quit going down there to put the babies on to eat and just let them out and let Mama out. And they're all together. Okay, so if you have long scissors, it would be better to do this job with long scissors because you'll get more in one cut than you do with these short little snips, but these are good paper cutting scissors too. All right, and we just have this bit here to get. Okay, so we've got our base for both of them done. We'll get rid of those scraps in my little garbage can here. Does anyone else on here raise pigs or had piglets? Okay, so now we're going to work on let me know in the comments if you have. I would be interested to know that. I'm just washing my scissors off here. Okay, so now we're going to do the image. And the stamped image, I'm going to set these aside for a bit. The stamped image I'm using is this one here with the 2 apples on the branch. And I'm bringing in a scrap of basic white cardstock, and I'm using Memento black ink. And I'm just going to stamp it up like this. Because I'm using Stampin' Blends, I'm using the Memento Black ink. The Memento Black ink keeps the alcohol markers from running, from bleeding. And there's our image. And I'm going to use Poppy Parade first for Stampin' Blends for my apples here. And there's each combo pack of blends comes with a dark and a light. And then there's two tips. There's like a brush tip and a bullet tip. I'm going to start with the bullet tip on the dark. And I'm going to trace around the artist's marks on this. So I'm going to start just tracing around my apple like this. And then I've got this little bit of shading here. I'm going to go around this. And there's a little shading here. Okay, and then I'm going to start and do just where the apple skin shows here. And right here. Now I'm going to bring in my light Poppy Parade, and I'm going to color this in the two colors. Well, after a little bit, they will blend together. You don't have to push very hard with these. You just very gently brush across it. I'm going to come back in with my dark and do a little more shading here with a brush. Just like that. There's kind of a well in the top of the apple there, so I'm going to make that a little darker. All right, and then I'm going to use Granny Apple Green for the leaves. And I'm going to go around the edge with the bullet tip with dark and where the artist drew the lines. And the same thing on this one. And then I'm going to shade in with the light color. If it's a small area, I usually use the bullet tip because of it being a small area. If it's a larger area, I tend to use the brush tip. Okay. All right, and then I'm using crumb cake for the branch. I'm going to come in with the light. This really is a lovely set. I looked at it quite a while, and I didn't get it, but every time I saw it, I was like, oh, I really love that. So I finally bit the bullet and bought it. Now I'm just going to go down along underside like that. Now for the little apple blossoms, and I know usually we don't have blossoms on the apple tree when the apples are there. But anyways, it's pretty the way it is. I'm using Daffodil Delight in the center of the one, and then I'm using Petal Pink I'm going to use a light petal pink. I can hear the thunder a little bit. I'm just using the light petal pink on it. So this is ready to die cut out. And I'm bringing in the little mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Sorry about the shaking. Now, if you buy this die set, you'll want to have the larger Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, the regular one, because the one die will not fit in this, the really long one, unless you're going this way with it. Okay, so I'm going to put my image right there. And then I'm going to line this up. Just like that. It looks about right. And we are going to crank this through. Oops, sorry. Now this mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is nice too because it folds up like this. And this is something that you could get in the starter kit. And if you get the starter kit, there's no obligation to stay in Stampin' Up. But I'm telling you, it's just such a wonderful way for me time and creative expression. And the friendships are great. So if you've thought about it, give it a try and try it. Okay, so we've got our image done. And now I'm going to bring my card base back in. And I also did die cut out two circles, large circles, and what did I do with them? Here they are. Okay. So I'm going to do both of these at once. I have one of these that I've already done, and we're going to mount them up both on our circle with dimensionals. And this circle shape is from the base or the Stylish Dies set, and it's circles and squares, and it has some, well, I showed it to you, it has some like sentiment shapes too. I'm just taking my take your pick tool and I'm pulling the backs off those Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay, and I'm going to put that on there like that. I'm going to come over and do this one. I'm loading this up pretty good with the dimensionals. Well, thank you. Thank you, Margaret. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in and pull these off with the take your pick tool. Okay. All right, so we'll put that right on there like that. Now for the front, we need a piece of vellum, and the vellum is 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. 4¼ by 3¼ and I guess I thought I had a piece sitting here. You know, there's got to be just one time when I do a live and I have all my papers here. I know exactly where I put them. Okay, I'm grabbing the vellum. And I'm going to grab my trimmer. I know I'll find it when I go to put stuff away. All right, so we want 4¼ and I'm lining it up along this line here. And we'll cut that with the cutting blade, which is the darker blade. Turn it and do 3¼ so we have a nice rectangle. There's one and we need 2 of these. There we go. All right. So I'm going to put glue on this and right in the center. Now with vellum, glue will show, but we don't need to worry about it showing because this is going to be covered up. You're going to center it. That looks about right. And then I'm going to put this over it. Center this over that. I'm not using dimensionals because I've already popped the top piece up with dimensionals. Okay. And then I have a die cut, one of the sentiments that's a die cut, sentiment piece. And we're going to emboss that beautiful sentiment on here. And I don't know if you've seen the new embossing toolkit, but it comes with a really nice tweezer and brush. As you can see, I've been using it today. It also comes with an embossing buddy, and this is the embossing buddy, and you just want to run it on here. It keeps static away and it keeps powder from going in spots on your cardstock where you don't want it to go, the embossing powder. So we're going to use a clear ink, and this is a sticky ink. The embossing powder will adhere to it. Let's do it this way. And I'm stamping up my sentiment. Okay, and I better stand up while I do this. The greatest gift is a good friend, and that is so true. So we're going to pick this up carefully. And I could use those tweezers. Okay, and this is white, Stampin' White embossing powder. Oops. I'm just gonna put it on it like that. And flick that off. And we need, our T there needs a little more on the end. There we go. Okay, so what's cool about this is there is a little cap here, and you can brush all your powder down into here, open the cap first, brush the powder into there, and dump it right back into your little container with your embossing powder. All right, so I'm going to hold this with the tweezers, and you just push on these like this. I'm just holding this one end here, like that. And I'll bring my heat gun in. And you'll see this start to raise up and change. And you see that turn? A nice, bright, shiny white. And that's done. All right, so we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of this and layer it onto our card. And the large ones do fit on the back of this sentiment if you put them like that. So like one of the flat sides along parallel with the edge. Or you could use a long strip of the dimensionals that are on the edge, like this strip here. That works good too. Okay. I'm going to take the back off. Huh. The sky is really black to the north, but shining to the west. And there might be a rainbow out there. All right. So here's our card. And I'm going to put this on the vellum, right below the circle. So because this vellum isn't tacked down here, I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to lift this up and go right along the bottom here. So we really don't want that flopping around. Okay. And then I'm going to add some black little dots. And these are the classic matte dots. They come in white, vanilla, gray, and black. And I'm just going to put a few right here. This would be really pretty too. Maybe I'll do the envelope so you can see the matching flap. Then all you'd have to do to finish this card is do the inside piece and decorate your envelope if you want to. Now let's step it up a little bit. So we've got our card base. We're going to bring that back in. And of our other card here, we're going to put our vellum on the front. Oh, no, we're not. We're going to stamp this with some flower images from the Harvest Apple stamp set. I almost forgot. Okay, so we're going to take that Embossing Buddy, and we're even going to run it over our vellum like this. And we want the Versamark ink. Thank you, Margaret. And I'm going to randomly stamp this on here. It's mainly going to show around the edges. So I'm randomly stamping. And we'll do one here. It probably won't show. I know it won't show. And we'll bring back in the embossing tray. I'm just going to hold that with that. Nope, that's not going to hold good. Need to get this edge here. Okay. And that looks like glue or something on the back there. So now I'm going to heat this up. And with vellum, you can heat the back of it. I got to get my tool here. Heat the back of it too. Like it's kind of flopping over a little bit. Now I'm going to turn it over. And you'll see it come to life. Okay. So now we're going to bring this back in and put glue on the back of this. So we're going to put it on here and center it. Like that. We're going to bring this in. And lay that on there in the center. Okay, and we're going to bring our sentiment in, and I've already done one to save time. It's still the same sentiment. The greatest gift is a good friend. Ooh, what? Here they are. Okay, let's try putting this long strip on. So I'm going to go here, right down along like that. And I need to cut this. Take the back off. Now I wonder about putting it up here. Let's try it now. I think I like it down here. Okay, so that's centered. Let's try a little bow, and this is the mini ruffled ribbon. This is in the catalog, holiday catalog. It's really pretty ribbon. We'll pull that pretty tight. Yes, they are bright and happy. Just like my mom. She's always bright and happy. Right, Mom? I want to make this a little shorter. Okay. And we need a glue dot. Let's see. We could put it here. We could put it like here. Or I don't really like it there. Maybe like this. Okay. So we'll grab a glue dot. And we're gonna put it like right there. Isn't that pretty? The greatest gift is a good friend. So we've got the 2 cards. Oh, we need some of our dots. So let's I ran out of the others, so I'm going to use the black matte. These are black matte dots. I'm not sure the name of it. And we'll put one here. We'll use these 2 smaller ones. Right there. And like that. All right. So there's our 2 cards. This is a little simpler, and this is a little stepped up a bit. And I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you have a good evening and happy stamping. Take care.